I'm Moniz Lagan. Thank you for watching the news at Fox 10 News at 9. It's an hour where you can join the conversation also on our Facebook page.
And we're streaming live on our website, fox10tv.com.
Well, high drama in a Baldwin County courtroom this afternoon. Two teenagers were on Gravine Island the night Summer Moody was shot. They were arrested today in court.
And it happened at the end of a long preliminary hearing for the three teens accused of breaking into fish camps on the island. Fox 10 News reporter Andrew Perez is live outside the Baldwin County Courthouse in Bay Minette.
All right, so Andrew, we knew the teens could face more charges, but I mean, really, the sheer number here, that's quite surprising.
Yeah, it sure is, Lenise. Dylan Tyree and Scott Bird, they had already been out on bond from that first burglary charge, but today they faced a judge here at the Baldwin County courtroom along with Daniel Parnell, who remained in jail. And this preliminary hearing, it lasted about 6 hours long, ended with a very shocking announcement. Fox 10 News reporter Paige Malone kicks off our team coverage.
Dylan Tyree and Scott Bird walked into the Baldwin County Courthouse surrounded by family, but left in handcuffs. You want to say anything? They were in court along with Daniel Parnell on a first-degree burglary charge.
What we have are two individuals, Mr. Bird and Mr. Tyree, who were participating in an armed burglary of residences this night back on at Gravine Island, and took along Summer Moody, who had her life ended that night.
Just after the judge denied the defense attorney's request for a lower bond, sheriff's deputies walked in.
There will be two new adult charges filed against them and actually are pending now. They're being served and arrested on those charges now.
Tyree and Bird were arrested on 20 warrants in connection to a burglary ring in Baldwin County.
We've got evidence of violence, evidence of Class A felonies, and two 17-year-olds who have been acting like adults and are going to be treated like them.
The two are also accused of intimidating a witness, leaving him in the hospital.
We have a history of violent behavior in which they are assaulting possible witnesses, or, according to who you believe, Mr. Tyree or whoever, or because he didn't do it well enough.
In testimony, we heard that all three are suspects in a Spanish Fort burglary in which a weapon is still missing.
Do you agree with kind of what the investigators say?
The boys also face the possibility of a felony murder charge in connection to the death of Moody. The attorney for the Moody family was at the hearing. He says the family thinks this is absurd.
The district attorney has already ruled or concluded that this was a horrible, tragic accident. It's not a murder. If it's not a murder, then the crime of felony murder doesn't apply. There's no such crime as felony, horrible, tragic accident.
In Bay Minette, Paige Malone, Fox 10 News.
Now, Dixon says no additional charges have been filed against Parnell. Meanwhile, this preliminary hearing also gave us a lot of insight into what exactly happened that night on Gravine Island, from who fired that deadly warning shot to what exactly these teens were doing at these fishing camps. Take a look. Up to this point, we really haven't heard much from the three teens accused of burglarizing fish camps on Gravine Island. Instead, today, we heard from investigators who talked a lot about the events that night that ultimately led to the shooting of 17-year-old Summer Moody.
Part and parcel of this event, of course, is this tragic shooting of Miss Moody, and unfortunately, defense counsel had a lot of questions and wanted to go there.
Investigators testified that, according to statements given by the teens, Moody was with them as they burglarized multiple camps on the island. Investigators said the teens took small things like a frog gig and a crowbar.
The other burglaries on Gravine Island that night are connected, as you probably heard me say, because items taken from the first were actually placed in, first residence was actually left behind in the shed, then items taken from the shed were used to break into the third residence.
Authorities said three men on the island confronted Dylan Tyree and Scott Bird and fired warning shots after one of the men believed he saw a gun. In court today, we learned that William Hearn fired a shot straight into the ground. Authorities believe Larry Dean Duncan fired the shot that killed Summer Moody.
We certainly heard a lot today about the boys. That still doesn't change the facts that these men came down there, armed themselves. One of them felt like whoever was down there was slipping out on them. They came in like a Marine, is the testimony that I heard. and then they fired a gun in the dark without knowing who's around.
Investigators say they found Summer Moody's blood behind a palmetto bush where she was hiding. The teen was shot in the head and died more than a week later. Now, like we've said before, the DA has decided not to charge those gunmen. Although they were subpoenaed to be at this preliminary hearing today, those men were not in court. The DA says she can't confirm whether or not they actually received that notification in the mail because it was actually just sent out recently on the 30th. For now, reporting live in Bay Minette, I'm Andrew Perez, Fox 10 News.
All right, thank you, Andrew.